A JavaScript engine is a virtual machine which interprets and executes JavaScript. Although there are several uses for a JavaScript engine, it is most commonly used in web browsers. History: before the Second Browser War in 2008 to 2009, JavaScript engines were simply interpreters that read and executed JavaScript source code. The first JavaScript engine was created by Brendan Eich at Netscape Communications Corporation for the Netscape Navigator web browser. The engine, codenamed SpiderMonkey, is implemented in C++. It has since been updated to conform to ECMA 262 edition 3. The Rhino engine, created primarily by Norris Boyd, is a JavaScript implementation in Java. Like SpiderMonkey, Rhino is ECMA 262 edition 3 compliant. Applications of the technology include Apple Safari 4's Nitro, Google Chrome's V8 and Mozilla Firefox 3.5's TraceMonkey. By far the most common host environment for JavaScript is a web browser. Web browsers typically used a public application programming interface to create host objects responsible for reflecting the document object model into JavaScript. The web server is another common application of the engine. A JavaScript web server exposes host objects representing an HTTP request and response objects, which a JavaScript program then manipulates to dynamically generate web pages. Microsoft's ASP technology for IIS allows server-side code to be written in VBScript or script. Jaxa is a web server that runs entirely on JavaScript. This has the benefit of allowing the same code to be shared on the server and on the client. Performance evolution. A typical major browser has a graphical engine and an independent JavaScript engine, which allows for easier testing, re-implementation or use in other projects. For example, Caracan is used with Presto, Nitro with WebKit, SpiderMonkey with Gecko, KJS with KHTML. Rhino by default has no layout engine. Other combinations are possible, for example, V8 with Blink and Google Chrome. The JavaScript engine gives developers access to functionality needed to control the web browser. SunSpider is a JavaScript benchmark utility for measuring the performance of JavaScript engines in more than a dozen tests, each concentrating on different part of JavaScript language. SunSpider does not use for benchmarking any features beyond those needed to test pure computations. The JavaScript engine race, 2008 and 2009. Recently, there has been a race by browser developers to develop even faster JavaScript engines in response to the growing use of JavaScript frameworks and AJAX, as the user's experience is directly influenced by the browser's ability to execute the site's client-side code. In 2008, Google Chrome was praised for its JavaScript performance, but other browsers soon received new JavaScript engines which were faster. Later, Chrome won in the races of better performance. Chrome's strength is its application performance and JavaScript processing speed, both of which were independently verified by multiple websites to be the fastest amongst the major browsers of its time. With the advent of WebKit's Squirrelfish and Mozilla's TraceMonkey JavaScript virtual machines, Chrome's JavaScript execution performance has been found to be slower. Google responded with the Danish-developed V8 which boosted JavaScript performance in Google Chrome too. On June 2, 2008, the WebKit development team announced Squirrelfish, a then new JavaScript engine that vastly improves Safari's speed at interpreting scripts. The engine was one of the new features in Safari 4, released for developers on June 11, 2008. The final JavaScript engine was called Nitro. In January 2009, the engine then known as Squirrelfish Extreme was enabled for Mac OS X on x86-64 architectures as it passes all tests on that platform by Apple Incorporated. Released June 30, 2009, Firefox 3.5 includes the optimization technique that offered performance improvements ranging between 20 and 40 times faster compared to Firefox 3 in some cases. The JavaScript engine race, 2010. In early 2010, the Norwegian Opera browser replaced the aging Futhark with the faster Caracan, which was 2.5 times faster in early testing. Others in the race, at this time, include Apple's Safari's Nitro and Firefox's new JavaCurrency GearMonkey. Microsoft lagged behind, lacking a dedicated JavaScript engine and being the slowest of the major browsers. Although by mid-2010, Microsoft held out the carrot of Chakra in then unreleased Internet Explorer 9. JavaCurrency GearMonkey began testing in the publicly released Firefox 4.0 beta in summer 2010. Safari 5, also released in summer 2010, featured 30% faster JavaScript performance than Safari 4. 2011, in 2011, Firefox 4 and Internet Explorer 9 were released with their JavaScript software. JavaScript engines, active projects, Rhino, managed by the Mozilla Foundation, open source, developed entirely in Java, SpiderMonkey, the first ever JavaScript engine, which powered Netscape Navigator and today powers Firefox, V8, open source, developed by Google in Denmark, part of Google Chrome, JavaScript Core, open source, marketed as Nitro and developed by Apple for Safari, KJS, KDE's ECMAScript JavaScript engine originally developed by Harry Porton for the KDE project's Concurrent web browser, Chakra, for Internet Explorer 9, DynJS, open source, written by Douglas Campus and others, Nashorn, open source as part of OpenJDK, written by Oracle Java Languages and Tool Group. Duke, a C++ application framework, contains a custom embedded JavaScript interpreter, ASM.js, for Firefox, Ducktape, open source, embeddable, C, MIT licensed JavaScript engine, with a focus on portability and compact footprint, Vue.js, open source, embeddable and extensible interpreter developed from UPDF. Inactive projects, Tamarin, by Adobe Labs, Caracan, by Opera Software, used by Opera web browser version 10.50 until switching to V8 with Opera 14. Futhuk, by Opera Software, used by Opera web browser versions 9.50 to 10.10 until replaced by Caracan in Opera 10.50. Narcissus open source, written by Brendan Eich, who also wrote SpiderMonkey, implementations. JavaScript is a dialect of ECMAScript, which is supported in many applications, especially web browsers. Dialects sometimes include extensions to the language, or to the standard library and related application programming interfaces such as the World Wide Web Consortium's Specified Document Object Model. This means that an application written in one dialect may be incompatible with another, unless the applications are written to use only a common subset of supported features and APIs. A dialect and an implementation are distinct. A dialect of a language is a significant variant of that language, while an implementation of a language executes a program written in that language. See also, Sun Spider a browser speed test, references. External links, Are we fast yet? A daily comparison of bleeding-edge JavaScript engines for Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome and Apple Safari. Peacekeeper a browser speed test, Sun Spider a online JavaScript speed test, Speed Battle a online JavaScript speed test, Descriptor a different open-source JavaScript engine on Java platform.